Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. Whether you're looking for a website, blog, or an online store, make sure to check out Squarespace. Use the coupon code Manny. You get 10% off.
What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be testing the Canon 85mm f1.2 on the Canon EOS R, and I'm going to match it up against Sony and the 85 1.4 G Master lens. These are like the sexiest combos that each camera.
I thought we were the sexiest combo.
Well, we're sexy. Well, I mean 1.2, babe. That's kind of.
I'm 100. You're 100.
But that's not.
I was just trying to flirt.
That was a good one. That was a good one, though. My question is this sexy setup? This is the sexiest setup that I've had in my hand, but is it worth more? Is it worth it for that f1.2? We're gonna find out today. Did I tell you guys I'm a pro skater? Let me show you my skills. Hold this, baby.
Fight!
Right there, yeah, good. What I noticed that I have perfectly leading lines right above her, so I'm changing the angle that I'm shooting. So instead of shooting diagonal like this, where the lines are crossing, I can shoot with the lines, and now I have great leading lines in the background. Okay, here we go. Shot with the Sonys. Now keep that same pose, keep it. Let's get the Canon now. Bam. Let's take a look at both of them. I mean, it's very similar. But I could tell right away, you could see the blur in the 1.2, how it makes those lights look. Do you see it as well? Yeah. Ooh, I like it already. I already see it in my Sony. Stay right here. Hey, hey, boo, I see you.
So nothing about this feels natural.
Right.
Because this is stuff my son would wear.
Drop your chin a little bit, like that. Do that, do that. Play with your hair with that hand. Drop your chin a little bit, right there. Stay there, stay there. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna do one more. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go with the Sony now. Boom. Yo, these shots are pretty fire, bro. All right, so I was looking for a different composition here with her sitting on the board. I looked at some other areas, but I felt like they just looked so similar. I wanted to get a different shot. I seen this, I don't know what this is called, the half pipe? I don't know. You know what, vertical might be better, because now I get not only just all white, but now I actually have some structure in there. So I'm gonna actually shoot this vertical, change of plans, about right there. All right, so we're gonna shoot with the Sony first. All right, here we go. And see also, you see that boulder back, or those lines right there? I'm gonna make sure I center her off. Because if she was over here, that'll make for a weird composition. Okay, ready? We're gonna keep the same pose, just like that. 1, 2, 3. Let me adjust the light. Stay right here. I'm gonna move the light a little bit more to the side because I was getting too much shadow, too much directional shadow on her face. I wanna fill her face up a little bit more with light. That's a great balance. Again, don't move. Now with the Canon. Beautiful. I can already tell the skin tones are nice and natural. 1, 2, 3. Maybe like hold it behind your back like this. Put it on your shoulder, like that. What? Hey, I know it's not, it's so not you, right? Don't lean on it, but just stand as close as possible to it, okay? 3, go ahead. Let's see. Good. One more time, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. All right, here we go. Again, more tippy toe, and go. Right there, perfect. Okay, here we go. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Just like that, Steve, just like that. Ready? Okay, don't move, don't move. Stay right there. Sony time. I definitely feel like the G Master is a slightly a wider lens. I feel like I'm more cropped. I zoomed out a little bit. There you go. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. And got it. The Canon is so deceiving because the screen is so good. It's so much more high quality. The image looks so nice on the rear screen. But when you pull them in post, I'm pretty sure they're gonna look very similar. All right, 1/128th power. F1.2, 1/250th of a second. Put your hand up. You can put your hand up. Oh, I got nasty bird poop. Keep that same pose. 1, 2, 3. Okay, don't move. Good. Bueno. Well, last one. All right, quick bokeh test with both lenses. Don't move. Don't move.
After looking at the files and staring at them for a long time,
Just gotta keep our eyes open.
I got some things to say. First off, this isn't a comparison between the lenses because this is like apples and oranges. One lens is for Sony, one lens is for Canon. But the point that I want to get across in this video is that, do you need a 1.2 lens? Because I mean, the thought of having a 1.2 lens is very attractive. Why do I keep talking like that?
Mojo.
It's a lens that a lot of photographers lust over, right? To have maximum depth of field, having that option. So I'll tell you some of the things that I noticed. First off, the Canon lens is a little bit more zoomed in than the Sony, so that when you're standing in the same spot, when you're shooting with the Sony and the Canon's gonna appear like you have more depth of field because you are closer. So when I take a step back and I replicate the frame between the Sony and the Canon, you can barely tell the difference between the files. Now, after staring at the files, I know which one's Canon based off the colors, the tonality of the skin tone. That's what gives it away to me. I love those Canon skin tones, and I could definitely see it when compared to the Sony. The biggest difference between these files is that the Sony files have so much more information.
Nice.
To play with in post-production, and that's where the biggest difference is when it comes to these files. Basically, when you use a new camera, you go through a little honeymoon phase with it, and you're like, wow, like this is amazing. But it's amazing until you actually compare it to another premium product like the Sony A7III and the 85 1.4 G Master. The results are literally just identical. You can barely tell that you're getting any more depth of field with the 85 1.2. The backgrounds look almost nearly identical. You can see that the backgrounds are a little bit softer on the 85 1.2, but not by much. Not by much. The 85 1.2 for Canon costs $2,800. Damn! Whew, that's tough. And the Sony costs $1,800, so it's about $1,000 more for a lens that you can get maximum depth of field, like at a f1.2. Bam! But at the end of the day, guys, I'm comparing these files. I don't have any skin in the game. I'm gonna tell you guys the honest truth. I went through the honeymoon phase with the Canon, but at the end of the day, you can get yourself an f1.4 lens and save a lot of money and get nearly identical results.
That's a really good deal.
When choosing the file that I want from both cameras, I always found that I wanted to edit the Sony file. It seems like when I take an environmental portrait, I want to edit the Sony file because the Sony RAW file has just more to play with in the shadows. I can recover the highlights more. There is just more to do with a Sony file, and I like being able to adjust the exposure, recovering the shadows of the background and whatever I'm doing. For a simple portrait, when it just comes to skin, you know, lighting's good and everything, I'm going for the Canon file because the Canon for me has the better skin tone, just the tones. I like how it renders skin. So I prefer the Canon file for that. I'm gonna give you some of these files so you can see it for yourself. At the end of the day, there isn't much difference between the files. We are nitpicking here when we're looking at these files. Nitpicking. And when it comes to these cameras, we need to stop nitpicking.
So just stop it.
Just use the camera that fits you best. Get yourself an if you want maximum blur, get yourself an 85 1.4. Don't worry about the f1.2s in the world. Don't switch camera brands just to get an f1.2 lens because you're getting almost the identical thing. I thought that this video was necessary to make.
Necessary?
Because I mean, I contribute to the whole honeymoon phase of work of using cameras, my opinion did change on the Canon EOS R. It is a better camera now. But my Sony A7III and 8514, I can get nearly the same output, saving a lot of money. Yeah, that is all I have for right now. I'll see you in the next one.